Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. It is Thursday, December 14th. Hope you're all doing well. It's almost the end of another week. Holiday season in full stride. Um, this is a VR for Peter B, who asked us to share some cards from our birth year. For me, that's 1973, and 1973 Topps Baseball, to say the least, was a bit of a quirky one. So I'm going to take a few minutes here and show you a few cards that I have in my collection. Okay, so here are probably my two favorite cards of the 1973 top set, at least that I currently have. Um, it's this Roberto Clemente I have graded in a SGC 6. This is actually one of the first vintage cards I ever purchased. I got it back in either the late 80s or early 90s when I was going to some baseball card shows or sports card shows with my brother and my dad in suburban New York City. And I know this was one of the first, like, at least half dozen to 10 when I was just starting to be interested in vintage cards, before I was starting to collect in 1978, I guess you could say. And the fact that this is just an awesome, tribute card to Roberto Clemente. I was surprised that it ended up getting a 6. I graded it just last year. It had been in a screw down holder for a long time. But the fact that it's got that print stripe along the left and still got the 6 and it's off center left, I mean, the back is pretty nice. The edge wear is very minimal on it, so I think that actually kind of helped. But I really enjoy having that card, just period, and having it in that grade makes it that much more enjoyable to have in my collection. And then this Thurman Munson I picked up a couple years ago. I guess it's safe to say I PC Thurman. He is one of my all-time favorite players. Peter, I just got back in the hobby 3 years ago after being out of collecting cards for almost 30 years. 91 Topps was the most recent, was the last year I remember collecting actively growing up. So I was 18 for that year. But yeah, I just got back into it a few years ago, like a lot of people out there. So I did pick this up recently, in the last couple of years, I should say. I have his rookie cards, 70 Topps and 71 and 72 Topps graded. This one I probably won't submit, although I do have it in this card saver because I might change my mind. It's probably not the condition. It's probably not quite in good enough condition to grade, but given I PC him, I still might. Even though it probably wouldn't get any more than a 6. And yeah, I think a 6 is possible, even with that little edge nick there. But we'll see. Those are my two favorite cards in 73, but I wanted to just share a few others, I guess. Just kind of run through, I don't know, I got probably about 15 to 20 that I'm going to run through quickly. Just other cards that I kind of like in the set. I think it's a really cool leaders card. A while ago, when I did get back in the hobby, I bought a big card lot off somebody off of like Marketplace, and it had a lot of 70s cards in it. It was mostly 70s cards, and it was a small group of 73s. This leaders card was one of them. But then also, what I like about the 73 set, quirks and all, is that there are some great star cards that you can get for $1 or $2 in great condition. This Ron Santo, I think it's just a nice shot of him late in his career. Same with this Gaylord Perry. I think I picked this up for $2. Kind of a cool shot with him with Cleveland after he had just won the Cy Young Award the year prior. He really had an awesome year in 1972. Look at that ERA, 24 and 16, first year in the American League. Cool card of Gaylord Perry right there. And then Don Sutton, I picked this up for probably $1 at an LCS. And the reason I grabbed this one was because I found the stripe of the Dodgers road uniforms back then very interesting, because I don't remember ever seeing them myself, like watching games. So I don't know how long they wore that stripe, but I just thought that was like almost an odd feature of their uniform for however long. And so, I don't know, I just thought it was an interesting card and that right to pick up. And then also from 73, they took a shot at action photography in a big way, which, you got to give Topps credit for that. It was obviously hit or miss, depending, just depending on the player they ended up going with or whatever. But, give them points for trying. And 73's design too, that helped it a little bit, even though the quality of photography for action isn't great. frankly. But some of them are okay. But this is a cool shot, but it's out of focus. But again, a pretty cool idea here for a picture. Bobby Bonds with Willie Stargell at first base. It's actually a pretty cool card. But then, you have a nice action shot here of Freddie Patek turning a double play, but, the umpire's head is cut off in the corner there, which makes it a kind of a quirky card, but kind of a cool shot. The idea was good. But then you have a card like this, George Scott of the Brewers, where it's been talked about in other videos that I've seen, but I honestly can't remember where I'd seen it. But this particular shot, as portrayed, probably didn't actually happen. I think that's Bert Campaneris sliding into first base. George Scott looks like he's like superimposed on this picture from another photograph, like just with that outline there. It's just a strange picture that they were toying around with. And then there's this card that I've shown in a couple of videos of, Willie Davis, getting, a high and tight fastball probably and lost his helmet at the plate. I just think that's not a great card to show of a player. It's an awesome photograph, but, for his like base card for a season and a great player like Willie Davis was, I don't think that was the best choice in that regard. But again, a great photograph. And then we get, the truly quirky and or, downright like odd. This one's odd to the point of, almost making me upset as a Yankees fan, seeing how bad this airbrush of Greg Nettles is here. It's just, the less that's said about it, the better. But I thought I'd show it as just an example of how unique in some ways 73 Topps is. And it's not my favorite set of the 70s by any means, even though it's my birth year set. I actually did a video a while back on my channel ranking the 70 sets. And I don't think that's changed since I did it. It was over a year ago. I have the 73 set at 8th out of the 10, actually. Then there's this card. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Joe Lahoud, probably Lahoud. But, at first glance, you just see the mountainscape or rocky cliffs or whatever that is. I mean, you have to almost like look hard to see the green grass that's like really muted there in the background. But I don't know. I look at this picture and it's like he's in a Mad Max movie or something. It looks post-apocalyptic. It's just like a desert hellscape. It's just a very interesting photograph. And, I'm exaggerating, of course, but I'm assuming wherever they were having spring training in Arizona, there was some kind of, hillside rocky backdrop that maybe they thought was a cool picture to have. And, in that regard, when you look at it that way, it is kind of interesting, but it's definitely a bit oddball. So a few interesting cards there that make 73 what it is. Thought I'd share a few of those. And then I'm going to run through through the mail autographs that I've done of this set. 1976 Topps was of that huge card lot I mentioned. It wasn't really huge, but it was a pretty big one. 76 Topps was the vast majority of that lot, and I used a lot of those for TTMs because I've gotten into TTMs since I've rejoined the hobby 3 years ago. But I've sent out a fair amount of 73s as well, so I'm just going to kind of run through them really quick. Not even going to mention names. Just going to show these. I believe there may be one or two that I may have picked up in like a dollar box at actually I was going through a box of $1 or $2 autos at the National for a little while, and I may have picked up a 73 in there. I honestly can't remember, but I'd say about 99% of these were me sending these out. So just it's always fun to get something in the mail. It's just a small little thrill. I've really enjoyed the TTM piece, just being able to connect with the former players. And even, I've gotten a few current players too since I've tried. This one was unfortunate. It's a great photograph of, I think, a journeyman infielder for the Padres, but with that mustard-colored Padres road uni with the rookie cup at Wrigley Field. It's just a great photo of him going for a pop-up. This is actually a really nice card. And it's in it's actually, the clarity is not bad. It's pretty good, actually, for them. This is actually the full crowd in the background of Wrigley. It's a fantastic card. But the U.S. Post Office, the Postal Service kind of messed it up on the way back to me. I actually sent them 2 cards. They both came back super creased, and it came back in like a special envelope, basically apologizing for screwing up the mail. And just a couple of more. And then I actually have a few others here, top loaded, that are a little more notable. Got Don Buford, really good ball player. Bert Campaneris, I really like that photo. Really like that card. Good World Series card there. Dave Kingman, early in his career. Some of these were $5, I believe. Don Kessinger of the Cubs. So just wanted to share some cards there, and then I'm going to share one more item from 73 that's actually not a card, but it's baseball related. I have this. It was actually a gift to me from my brother a couple of years ago. He just sort of randomly sent me this, which was very nice of him. I'm actually going to move these off to the side. This is a 50th anniversary Yankee Stadium record. I guess a 7-inch, I think it is. I don't know if that means it's a 78 RPM or a 45. Actually no, it says 33 1/3. So what do you know? 30 minutes long. I've actually not heard this record because I don't have a turntable here at home, but I really love the artwork on the cover. It's so cool. I love how you got, Joe DiMaggio captured there, Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and then other sports represented here. Y.A. Tittle, the Giants. I'm pretty sure it's Y.A. Tittle. Boxing matches galore at Yankee Stadium too, and even papal masses. There have been three popes have visited Yankee Stadium, all 3. So I believe Paul VI was in 1965. Pope John Paul II at the stadium that I grew up going to, that was in 1979, I believe, and then Pope Benedict appeared at the current Yankee Stadium, and I don't know the year of that, but it was during his time as Pope. So yeah, this is just a cool kind of little piece of Yankee history here, and it's narrated by Mel Allen apparently, which I've never heard the disc or the record. I've actually looked for the audio on YouTube to see if someone has posted it, and I have not actually found it. I'll take out the record really quick and then we'll wrap this up because I know the video is getting a little long, but it's a pretty cool record. It's got this 50th anniversary logo on here, which I know that the Yankees wore as a patch. This part they wore as a patch on one of their sleeves that year in 73. So pretty cool stuff, actually. So there's my video for you, Peter. I just wanted to share some 1973 stuff, cards mostly, but I thought I'd trot out this extra little bit here. And I know you're a Red Sox fan. My dad was actually a Red Sox fan as well, as I was growing up. He started as a New York Giants fan, along with his dad, my grandpa. But eventually, after they moved, he gravitated to the Red Sox. Let me put this record back in here. Actually, I'll do it after. I'll put it behind. It's fine. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed kind of trotting these out. So take care, everyone. Have a great week. Weekend. It's Friday, so take care.